FIFA, General Secretary FIFA, no party FIFA,
Kiaru, Bata, Viva Nupso Northwest, Viva, Viva Nupso Northwest, Viva, Viva South, Viva, Viva Bukuni Mupirima, Viva, Pambele, Gamsawa Sevens, Pambele, Gamsawa Sevens, Pambele, down with sweetheart unions, down with sweetheart unions, down with tax politicians, down. Program director, the National Office Bearers led by Comrade President Aniso, the Provincial Executive Council led by Comrade Magazine, the chair, the General Secretary of SAFTU, I think he was supposed to be here, but is the NT, our staff in the province, they are playing a very important role. The Congress delegates, esteemed guests, revolutionary greetings, comrades. It gives me great pleasure and sense of pride to have to address the Provincial Congress delegates of Northwest. And I think about 4 years ago, when we were in Durban during the National Congress, after the National Congress, we were entrusted with a very important daunting task to lead NUPSO in its highest decision-making structure, that of being the National Office Bearers. Similarly, 5 years ago, the POBs of this province were elected to do the same. Comrades, when you are elected as an office bearer, you are elected to do one thing, to protect workers. And you must ensure that you unify workers. Because the fragmentation of the working class has reached unprecedented levels. We are a trade union that don't speak rhetoric. We are the implementing trade union movement. We don't go to boardrooms and talk English and then come out with nothing. We wish to say, comrades, that we do not take this role for granted, as we recognize the confidence members had to bring radical change on how things should be done, as well as paradigm shift to great purpose and declarations to carry fully their mandates of seeing NUPSO become the biggest and the most progressive trade union in the public service and private sector. We hope that the POBs and the entire leadership are sharing the same sentiments with the views of the NOBs and the National Executive Council. We are very proud, comrades, that we have made progress in terms of fulfilling the mandates as the NOBs that was given to us in 2022 during Congress in Durban. And we are continuing the legacy that was built in 1998 when the union was registered and formed. We are doing this having not sold the members and still being relevant to the matters that affect the workers. And during this time of office, comrades, we continue to derive our inspirations from one of Africa's foremost anti-colonial leader, a Pan-Africanist, a poet and revolutionary, Amilcar Cabral, who once said, "We must practice revolutionary democracy in every aspect of our party life. Every responsible member must have courage of his responsibility, exacting from other proper respects for this work and properly respecting the work of others. Hide nothing from the masses of our people, tell no lies, expose lies whenever they are told, mask no difficulties, mistake, failure, claim no easy victory. This statement, comrades, is very powerful. Claim no easy victory. It is based on this code that when we accepted to lead, we knew that leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. And I remember after 2021, Comrade President, there were challenges. And many challenges, Comrade President, that we were confronted with. And one of those challenges, if you recall, Comrade President, was that we were out of the council. And we also had challenges in the PSCBC, by the way, Comrade President. But because we knew that this task is not going to be easy, we had to sit, engage, and find solutions. You know, one thing for sure, comrades, when you are elected, you come, you assess, you build the organization based on its strategic plan. You don't come and blame other comrades that were there before. Comrades. Otherwise, we will not have a progress in the movement. We are not a trade union that is not looking backwards, but a trade union that is looking forward. And we want to achieve our mission and objective of becoming the most progressive trade union movement, the biggest trade union movement in both public and private. Particularly knowing that in the line of duty, comrades, and being true to our calling, along the way, we may create enemies of the truth. When you are a leader and you are telling the truth, you create enemies. Some Comrade President, they will say, if you are a man and you don't have enemies, then you are useless. It means you are just agreeing to everything that comes your way. But as a leader, you must remain principled. We must at all times remain principled so that we push the struggle of workers. Unfortunately, comrades, some of us come from the political leadership school of thought that says a true leader tells his people what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. As we grow and start to become a threat to both government and its allies, it's a fact, comrades. We are the most hated trade union movement in South Africa, both by employers and some suited unions. They are trying everything in their power to make sure that we don't exist in South Africa. But unfortunately, we are a resilient trade union movement and we are deep-rooted. We are a worker-controlled trade union movement. And that's why our structures across all levels are functional. We are an oiled machine, and we want to appreciate the leaders that are taking the struggle of workers serious and forward. We attract media that reports for particular audience, that love controversy, and promotes a particular narrative. So even in their presence, we stated things as they are and did not sugarcoat the truth. This resulted in us being seen as unpatriotic to the cause. Unfortunately, that's how the media makes money. From the political office of NUPSO, if presidency can lower principles as subscribed to by Amilcar Cabral to play to the gallery, history will judge us harshly. Well, members will also have to judge us harshly. Some of us are not afraid from confronting other leaders for wrongdoings because that was why, in the first place, members elected us. We normally say we are fearful leadership. We don't care whether we're coming back or not, but we want to leave the legacy. Want to live peacefully when I leave this organization. So we fear FOCO. As long as we will stick to the principles and policies of the organization, we'll continue to do so. And we are saying all leaders across all our structures must do the same. Just like any other organization, NUPSO has its own weaknesses as an organization, in that some of the provincial executive councils are so afraid of handling controversial issues that are within their competency and throw everything to NOBs and the National Executive Council to resolve. And even when anonymous resolution is taken, not favoring individuals but the union, when they get to their respective provinces, they divorce themselves from that resolution, and instead they are saying, we have resolved that, or they say they have, the NOBs have resolved that. So you divorcing yourself from the resolution of the organization. Similarly, the PC takes decisions, you go back to your region and say, it's not me, it's those POBs who resolve. Comrades, we need to come together. Decisions of PEC, decisions of the NEC, decisions of this Congress, they are binding. This has consistently putting the NOBs on a collusion route with the majority of our members to a point that leadership is seen as the enemy and not comrades. And comrades, I don't see this changing soon, as some in the leadership are not here to serve members, but pushing their own agenda. We forget that this is not about ourselves, but the workers first. Along the line of duty, we are pleased to announce that NUPSO has, during the past 4 years, increased its support base below 60,000 members to just below 70,000 members. We are continuing to grow. We are very much disappointed by the performance of Northwest. This Congress must resolve to task the incoming leadership to grow the membership to 5,000 by the next PGC. The Congress must resolve to end exploitation of contract workers. The Congress must resolve to inspect all government buildings to ensure that they comply. The Congress must ensure that functional structures are launched at all levels. With the resolutions that we received, Comrade President, to be honest, I was not happy with the resolution of the Northwest. Because, comrades, as leaders, the focus should be on programs of workers. Programs of workers, programs of workers. And if you look at the status of Northwest, comrades, NUPSO must lead to change the status quo. NUPSO must lead to make sure that there are no potholes in Northwest. NUPSO must lead to ensure that all contractors are resourced. NUPSO must lead to make sure that the province fill in all the vacant positions in the province. But with those resolutions, comrades, I suspect that there's something that is misleading the province. And if these suspicions are correct, Comrade President, that is ill. Because that thing, it means whatever it is, they hate the working class wholeheartedly. They the incoming leadership must work together to advance programs of workers and not to allow to be divided. We are encouraging the incoming leadership to work together to advance programs of workers, to unite the province. When we do the stock take in the next PGC, we will remind you, comrades, that this Congress resolved to do this and this and this, and let's monitor. We are a trade union that do not do things haphazardly. We are a trade union movement that plans. You don't wake up today, Comrade President, and say, "Siyabangena." Otherwise, we will fail. Members need to be engaged. You don't wake up in the morning and say, "I'm going to this hospital for recruitment." You will antagonize the same leaders in that institution that you are going. But instead, engage them. We always say, Comrade GS Saftu, there must be a planning meeting. Any program, planning meeting, so that program can be coordinated properly. I will be failing, Comrade President, in my duty if I do not mention that the national growth is skewed. The danger of such growth is that it results in the big brother mentality with the so-called one dictating the terms, even to the detriment of organization. So we want Northwest to grow so that we can balance, there will be a proper or good balance of forces. So this is not happening in NUPSO, but we must continue to guard that the bigger provinces do not even determine the national office bearers' position because they want those elected or will forever be indebted to them to a point of engaging or colluding in legal transactions. There were a number of events favoring us to reach the growth we are in, Comrade President, the readmission of NUPSO in the PH, the induction of all provinces on the interpretation and application of union policies, increase in staff complements in line with the staffing norm to deliver services to our members. We have managed to ensure that all provinces, provinces have functional structures through a resolution of the National Executive Council in line with the strategic plan of the Union. We have managed to procure 3 offices in 3 years, which is in Mpumalanga, Free State, and East London. This is in line with our strategic plan and also our constitution. And if you look at it, comrade, I think the NT of Saftu was correct to say we were the first province to be launched before Mpumalanga and Free State. But immediately after we have procured Workers' Parliament in Nelspruit, Mpumalanga has surpassed 4,000, Comrade President. Eastern Cape, they are doing very well. Their recruitment, they are doing very well in terms of recruitment, and also Free State. We also continues to maintain our identity of being independent. That one will not compromise. Even for sure the next generation of leadership, if they can compromise this identity of being independent, Comrade President, for sure in Nova Pukela. Because we must look after workers. With every vibrant region, branches, and institution in all 9 provinces, this is the only way we can truly represent aspiration of workers against capitalism, which consistently continue to put business interest and profit before workers. Comrades, my advice to you is that you recruit in an institution. The next thing is to launch them and capacitate them. By doing so, you are empowering them. They will have trade union leave leave for trade union activities, they will be able to represent our members. So NUPSA will exist in that particular institution. If you recruit and you don't launch, anybody can come and take them because there is no structure. The journey has not been smooth sailing also. We have to caution against foreign culture also that will erode good principles and ethical leaderships. NUPSA has radically increased its support base and more members. We have more financial resources we will accumulate, and it will also bring hyenas dressed in sheepskins whose sole aim will be to amass the wealth of the organization. Unfortunately, we cannot see these comrades, but they are in our midst, masquerading as the Messiah and just waiting to bounce on leadership position and show their true colors. Let us guard against such people who do not even know and understand the tradition and culture of NUPSA. It is easy, however, to know these comrades. They join trade union for positions, and if they don't get elected, will hop from one trade union to another. Yeah. So when they come to meetings, they don't talk about programs of workers. Then you must know, this one, or who made you. Because when we are meeting as leaders, we must talk about programs of workers. We must say, what do we do to make sure that contract workers are appointed permanently in the province? What do we do to make sure that all vacancies are filled in the province? What do we do with these potholes? What do we do with nurses' uniform? What do we do with OST, nurses translate? Those are programs of workers. But you come to a meeting, you talk about elections. No, it doesn't work that way. So those are the symptoms of these leaders that we are talking about. Another thing that will, Comrade President, will gradually erode the gains we have made thus far and kill NUPSA is the lack of decisive leaders in our provinces. We elect leaders who fear taking unpopular decisions. Comrades, if you are a leader and you can't take decisions, two things will happen. It's either there will be discipline in the organization that you are leading, or there will be anarchy. And once you allow anarchy, you must know that organization is gone. So leaders must take decisions based on principles. So we have policies that are guiding us. We must take decisions guided by those policies. Remember, we are not here to be liked, but to do the right thing. And the right thing is to ensure that workers come first at all material times. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to like each other. But we all have responsibility to serve the interest of the working class. Let us fight every heart to break the barriers we created between members and ourselves, in which members see us only when we want to be elected. Leaders must be at the forefront of all campaigns and marches. We should not lead from the comfort of our air conditioned offices. Let us ensure that we recruit every day to realize the objective of becoming the biggest union in both public and private sector. If we can do these things, it will be easier to surpass the target we set for ourselves and become the biggest union in the country. And the NT of SAPTU already said the ground is fertile. To the National Executive Council, Your resilience and determinations to serve NUPSO continues to thrive, sometimes under pressure or under very hostile conditions, particularly from the very same provinces that you represent, as they will sometimes want you to divorce yourself from the resolutions taken not in their favor. We further wish to thank our Provincial Executive Council, Regional Executive Council, branches for always showing us our weaknesses. It is through your constructive criticism that we have grown as leaders. To those who we have not met your expectations, who you have not met your expectation, it is not deliberate, but this is the time to reflect, correct your mistakes, and build this organization. To the members of NUPSO, thank you for giving us opportunity to serve you, and for the support you're giving us. You remain our greatest asset as an organization. We wish everyone fruitful, healthy, constructive deliberations in this Congress. Comrade President, Program Director, I might conclude by saying, may the soul of Comrade Mokoena Letie rest in peace. I thank you.